Hello folks, welcome to the Green Room again, episode 5 this time, and I probably said on the previous ones how special the guests are, but this one is probably extra special as it's my first female guest on the podcast, and it's kind of, can I refer to you as my work wife, just the one time? She's my work
Perhaps,
wife.
Yeah.
Okay. My work wife, we work at the same place. She has to put up with all my shit, basically. Mrs. Emma Irwin. Thank you for coming on.
Hi.
I'm going to say, you've been a little bit apprehensive about doing this, haven't you?
I have, yeah.
I haven't forced you to do it in any way.
Kind of bullied me into it, really.
Okay, well, before we go into all that, you've got to take some responsibility for this, because when I first decided to do this, and I've never really talked about this on the podcast, but the whole thing came from a conversation I had with someone we both work with, right? And we were talking about what we're good at and all this kind of thing. I came up with the theory that I think everyone's good at something. And this other person said, what did I think mine was? I said probably talking, couldn't do a lot about that. He suggested I did a podcast. And then once I came up with the idea, and I was talking about doing this launch video, you, pretty much every day, were like, have you done your video yet? No. Oh, you're useless. And I had that for a long time.
Yeah, but you did go on about doing it all the time.
I know.
So just get on and do it. And here we are.
I know, over a year later.
Yes.
It took me a year to do that video. And it's only recently that I've noticed that I didn't mention at all in the whole video that it was a podcast. So there's me getting stressed that everyone's like, well, what is it? I don't understand it. And now I realise it's because I didn't actually say that it was a podcast at the beginning. So thank you for coming on. Don't be nervous.
I'm a little.
Yeah, I know. My hand going on the back of the sofa doesn't help. It's a habit. It's nothing personal. It's just something I do. So, okay, I do this on every episode, but how long have we known each other and how did we meet?
You've been working together maybe 4 years?
Yeah, we've been working together 4 years, but we kind of bumped into each other before that.
Yeah, Kev's birthday was 5 years ago.
Okay.
It's been about that, yeah.
So I got a phone call at work one time and it was Emma, and I thought it was work related, but she was asking for my musician skills for her husband's 40th birthday. And ironically, I and someone very close to me are 40 this year. Do you know anything about that? Well, I can't really say, I don't want to divulge that. But 5 years ago, wow. But we worked at the same place for a long time.
We have, yeah. And we used to see each other every now and again when you needed help.
That Emma from QC. As she walks past the window. I was thinking of calling this episode That Emma from QC. No. I think it would be good. So you work at our place part-time.
Yes.
You've got 2 children.
Yeah.
And married, happily married. And
Most
that wasn't
of the time.
that wasn't a question, it was a statement. But I think you've just spoken on behalf of all women there as well. And you run a small business as well.
I do, yes.
Called?
Flip Flop Designs.
Now, you don't design flip-flops, as we've just established.
No, I don't, no. I do resin art. At the moment, I've dabbled in various sort of different arts over the year, from paper cutting, word art, that sort of thing. And for the last 18 months, it's been more about resin. And
for anyone that doesn't know what resin is, do you kind of have a sort of like layman terms description of it?
I don't know, really. It is like a plastic based, it's like a liquid, I suppose, plastic that you mix 2 parts together, add colours, and then it cures into a hard, solid mass.
And people use this for all sorts. I saw a video on YouTube one time where someone made this really ornate like worktop for their kitchen of wood, but then just basically drowned it in resin and sanded it down and polished it and stuff. It was amazing. Yeah. But it's used for all sorts of things, isn't it?
All sorts, yeah.
There's a funny little story about that. I wasn't intending to say about that, but I think I've told you. I went to the Grand Canyon one time when we went to Las Vegas, yes. And I don't know if it's legal, but I took a few chunks of Grand Canyon rock back with me, and I gave a few out as gifts to various people because I was too tight to buy anything, basically. And Kaz, as a surprise to me, decided to get one of these rocks and set it in this resin kit that she bought that was meant to be used as a paperweight or something. And she cocked it up, basically. And, I've got it.
Kaz.
I've got it. Wait. Sorry, the video, if this ends up going on YouTube, let me polish it. That is what's left of my Grand Canyon chunk of rock.
It's got to be yellow.
It has. It was done a few years ago, and but the thought was there.
It was, yeah.
It was. So you do that, and you add colours,
yes,
paints, etc.
Pigments, yeah.
And you sell these.
I do.
And they are really good. And do you want to? I apologise for the podcast listeners.
Yes, they can't see it.
But hopefully this will encourage you to then go on the Facebook page and look at the videos, etc. But Emma's brought 2 examples of her resin art with her. So there we go. Shall I get the other one?
Yep.
So if you're not watching the videos, just imagine a really nice chunk of wood, because they're not chopping boards so much, are they?
No, you can use it as a chopping board. You cannot chop really on the resin.
Would it cut it, do you think? Or
it shouldn't do, no.
Because it's so hard.
It's just not, I just wouldn't advise it. You'll ruin it.
Okay.
Really.
So you would just put things on there,
you can
crackers.
chop on the wood.
Okay.
Serve cheese on it.
Yes.
Christmas.
Oh, don't. Yeah, cheese board. But Emma's really into you're really into your beach and the sea and all that kind of thing. So you kind of go for those effects, don't you?
Yeah.
I'm saying this for the people that aren't watching the video. People that are watching the video, hi, and thanks for watching the video. Now go and listen to the podcast and listen to the whole thing. But there you go. So it's like what would you call it? Like a reef. The waves coming in on the. On
a beach, on a sand, the waves are kind of rolling in, and it's kind of like glass to touch. It's very tactile.
Well, I'll tell you, tactile, I like that word. What I'll do is I will take some pictures of them, or you could even send me some. No, I'll take some pictures in the green room,
okay.
and I'll put them up on the page, just for those people that are super lazy and aren't listening to the podcast or watching the videos.
With a link as well.
With a link, yes. Well, okay. Well, I wasn't going to go that far, but okay, since you've mentioned it. So that's it, Flip Flop Designs. You've done a few things in the past. I've got to mention your willy art because Emma has tried, or you started with paper cutting, didn't you?
Word art, so
Okay.
computer-based word art, which then kind of led to paper cutting. Which led to loads of different things. To be honest, I've kind of dabbled in.
Well, one of my favourite things that you've done, I've told you that one of my favourite things that you did was your paint, where you kind of what did you do? Just sort of splatter it on or chuck it on, and it manipulated it.
Yeah.
You didn't know what you were going to get.
No.
It just came out, and it was really good. But Emma came in to work one day and she was showing me some pictures of some stuff that she'd done, and there was one. I looked at it and I just thought, that looks like a giant penis. And I wasn't going to mention it, but then I did, and Emma,
Someone else noticed it as well.
Well,
Was it
yeah.
Sarah.
I don't know, but I know that you put a picture up and said, "What do you see when you see this?"
Yeah.
And I wasn't the only one. A lot of people.
No,
but
there's loads of people that noticed it.
but you, bless you, are like so innocent, and I don't want to say naive because you're not naive, but
No, I'm not naive.
whereas I've got a really juvenile sense of humour, and
we know.
well, we were talking recently. There's a restaurant pub locally called the Black Venus, and every time I hear it, I can't help but thinking the Black Penis. That's sort of a plug for the restaurant because it's really, really good.
It is, yeah.
But I apologise if I've kind of like tainted it in any way by saying that. But anyway. And Emma was like, I've never even thought about that before. But it's the first thing I think of.
Not at all.
So it's not surprising that you didn't see this penis, this phallic kind of image of paint that you created.
Yeah.
And you still claim that it wasn't intentional.
It wasn't intentional.
Moving on, you through your small business, you do a lot of stuff. You go to like what are they called when you go away and you with other people that do the same thing? Not events.
It's like a small business event that I went to the other Friday. We're run by the Creative Network. Helen, she's fantastic. Plug there for her.
That's the lady that runs it.
Yeah,
Okay.
and she is. She's fantastic, and it's creatable. And I've been to the last one in Exeter for the last 2 years, and it's a group of people. There's about 100 people, and they have speakers there talking about running small businesses.
Advice and stuff.
Yeah, advice, all sorts of sort of inspiring people. It's really good.
Well, the reason I wanted to touch on that was because we were talking recently at work, and you were telling me about it because you just come back from the event, and you said that someone did a talk on self-doubt.
Yeah.
Which, you tell me a lot of stuff, and I'm just interested in that, but I don't relate to all of it because I don't do that kind of thing. But that was really interesting to me, because I'm not stealing the thunder, but I'm kind of going back so I can go forward. Is with anything, with my music, with this, I put it out there hoping it's going to do well, hoping people like it. And then when people don't like your videos, or you don't get many listens on the podcast, you start to question, is it any good? And I'm not, this isn't the best podcast in the world. I know it isn't. And I know that it's very specific to people that know me or yourself or whatever the guest. But it made me realise that that's so true, that you see someone doing better than you, and then you start thinking, is it because they're better? Is my stuff rubbish? Is it this and that? And I get that loads with the podcast and with the music, and I found that really interesting.
I think when you do something like that, you're putting a piece of yourself into your business, and when you don't get anything back from that can also be really disheartening, and you kind of take it personally.
It can hold you back.
Yeah,
as well.
definitely.
Yeah, but what did they what advice did they give to combat that?
To kind of turn it around and try and see something positive about it. So kind of my self-doubt was that my work isn't good enough. My worry is that I won't sell anything, which kind of has knock-on effects then, is that you then worry even more, so then you don't create stuff, so you have no good ideas. But I actually do sell quite a lot of my work, and I have quite a lot of repeat customers.
Yeah.
And repeat customers come back because they do like my stuff. So
maybe you have to remind yourself.
Yeah, exactly. I think you do have to remind yourself that, because it's very easy to kind of slip into kind of feeling down about stuff, and we all have times like that anyway.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, but I suppose everyone's going to do really good stuff no matter what it is, and everyone's going to do not so good stuff. You're going to have a bad day with something, whatever it is. You can't be on it all the time. But then I suppose you're going to do things that you don't think are that good, that other people really like, and things that you think are really good that maybe don't go down so well. But it's kind of a roller coaster, isn't it? Because I think the reason I found it so interesting is because it made me realise, before I hadn't even thought about it before, that I actually probably suffer with a lot of that. Constantly questioning, am I good enough? Is this? I think sometimes you just got to ask yourself why you're doing it.
Yeah, definitely. And I certainly think that with mine. Should I just pack it all in? But I'm not really a quitter.
But no, that was really good. And it sounds like these things are worth going to. Yeah,
definitely, I think. And you just get to meet like-minded people who are all really friendly and all kind of feeling the same sort of things as you, and just want their businesses to do well. So
it's good because I suppose you can get feedback off other people.
Yeah, definitely.
Something I always enjoy is when I get to talk to, say, another musician, and they share some of their gig stories of where they played to an empty pub, or where I don't know. So it's
not just you.
No, it's not just me. Sometimes I do think that, or where the landlord doesn't want to pay what they asked for and stuff. And you do sometimes think it's just you. And every now and again, it's nice to be around other people in the same business and realise that everyone's
absolutely. At the event, the lady sort of said, "Put your hands up if you've ever suffered from self-doubt," and everyone in the room put their hands up.
Yeah.
Which makes you just feel better than knowing that other people feel the same way.
You'd probably be lying if you said no, actually.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Emma.
Yes.
You are my first female guest.
I am.
How does it feel?
Like I'm being used.
Oh, really? Well, I don't want it to.
No, not really.
I don't want it to be like that. I didn't just get you on here to prove that the green room isn't sexist.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not the reason I asked you to come on.
Yeah, to tick a box.
Yeah, no, not at all. But and I do appreciate you coming on as well, because I know that I've had to hound you.
You have a little bit.
It's a bit like getting you to the Christmas party. We have to kind of get you to commit in February, just so we know that you're going to be there and everything. And I am making an effort not to put my arm on the back of the sofa. Also, actually, while we're talking about this, I just want to mention Sarah Wells at the moment, because Sarah has got this fascination with me having a cushion on my lap.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not to hide anything. It's, if I'm honest, it's probably like a little comfort thing. It's probably just something I feel exposed, you know? If I maybe...
Well, you and Jack both looked a bit weird with your cushions last week.
Well,
hence I've got rid of mine.
Well, yeah. Well, he actually got rid of his at the beginning because I told him to. I said we can't both have cushions on our laps. So bless him, he put his down, but must have picked it back up again later.
Yeah.
I noticed on the videos. So little shout out. I hate saying that, but little mention to Sarah Wells. The cushion is not hiding anything. Okay, you can think what you like. It's just here as a little bit of a comfort thing.
She actually suggested some other cushions, didn't she?
Yes, there was a penis cushion. I suggested getting a cushion made with her face on it. It might be a little bit inappropriate. Yeah, I'd have to have it face down. But thank you, Sarah, for watching the videos and commenting each episode. Hopefully, you'll this might even make it up as a video segment. I don't know, but if you listen to the podcast, then we'll find out if you listen to the podcast. Basically, anyway, you being the first lady that I've had in here. Mm-hmm. On my sofa bed, other than Kaz. I'd like to talk about chivalry.
Okay.
Because we've talked about this kind of thing at work.
We have, yeah.
We work together 8 hours a day for 3 days a week, so we cover a lot of topics.
We do, yes.
Or I do. You just listen and nod and pretend that you're listening. But chivalry, because we talked about the snowflake era or generation with Danny Lamosa on episode 2. That was his annoyance. That was the thing that really annoyed him. And thrown into that is the whole people getting easily offended.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of women that can get offended by, things that aren't intended to be offensive or sexist. And I'm sure all women think differently about this, but there are a few things I've got written down just to see sort of how you would feel about them. Okay, things like opening doors for a woman. Would you... You're not a feminist, obviously, but not as far as the silly things.
No.
And by silly things, I mean petty things. We're not talking about women's rights and the things that do need feminism fight in their corner. But some women can get offended by silly things like a man opening a door or a man offering to carry something heavy. Wolf whistles, which we'll get into in a minute. But it kind of seems like chivalry to an extent is in danger of dying out because men might not do those things because they're worried that it might be looked at as sexist.
Those things are kind of being polite.
I agree, yeah.
Really, holding, I will hold a door open for someone as well. Or offer to help with someone carrying something.
Yeah.
And I think it's polite that men do it, really, and that it's quite nice rather than having a door slammed in your face because someone thinks they shouldn't do it anymore.
Well, I'd get annoyed if people don't do that to me. Yeah. And you do it to an elderly person as well.
Exactly.
It's I personally think it's a nice thing.
Yeah.
And I think it's a shame that some women are shouting about certain things because they think that it's it makes them look inferior.
Yeah. Are they really talking about those sort of things though, or is it just really that the wolf whistling that they don't like?
Well,
really.
that's, yeah, I wanted to come back to that because we talked about this once upon a time as well. And I think, did you say that you don't mind a wolf whistle? Is that what you said?
Yes, I don't mind, because I think I've kind of been brought up with that's kind of what builders, scaffolders, men on building sites kind of did.
It's an acknowledgement that you're attractive.
Yeah, so it was kind of like quite nice, but it's apparently quite frowned on nowadays, and it's not okay to wolf whistle, whereas for someone getting older, if I was wolf whistled at, it would be quite nice.
Well, I was going to ask you about that. I was going to say, do you feel differently about it now than how you would have felt about it in your 20s?
No, I don't. No. No.
Okay.
I can kind of see how, I don't know, like maybe if I was overweight or that sort of thing and wolf whistled out, maybe it would be seen as they were taking the mick, you know, being unkind, you know. So I do kind of see that side of it. Yeah
I gotta admit, I don't think
it's a difficult one, isn't it, really?
Yeah, it's down. Yeah, it is. It depends on how easily offended you are, I guess, and how you look, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it's people that don't get wolf whistled that are kicking up a fuss about it because they're jealous about the people that do get wolf whistled. I don't know.
No,
for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But might have to edit that out. But I think there's a big difference, me personally, between like a lewd comment being thrown and a wolf whistle.
Yeah.
I think a wolf whistle is just an acknowledgement of your attractiveness. Okay, but then some guys push it a bit further and they'll be like, "Oh, I loved it," and I think I don't agree with that.
No,
and
I would,
I suppose it's a tricky one, isn't it? You know,
it is really,
especially nowadays.
And things have changed nowadays, you know, haven't they? Things are just different now.
Yeah, I just worry that chivalry will die out. I hope it doesn't. I won't stop doing certain things. I don't mean to, offend anyone by things that I do, but I won't stop holding doors open for anyone, not just women. If a woman, I don't know, say I saw someone at work and they were trying to carry a heavy box or something, I would offer to lift it.
Yeah.
And if they take offence at that, you know, I'm sorry for that, but that won't stop me from doing it. I saw the differences between feminism that annoys me is I saw a thing a few years ago, we talked about this as well, the Free the Nipple campaign.
Oh yeah.
And it just, that to me just makes such a mockery of feminism. And you know about this?
Yeah, wasn't that in London and they did
I saw one in New York.
Yeah.
And it was a load of women that were campaigning saying that women's breasts shouldn't be sexualized. When it's hot, if a man can take his shirt off and wander around, and then a woman should be allowed to. And they were doing a march in New York, topless and stuff like that. And I just think that's feminism gone mad. I think that is.
Most women wouldn't want to walk around.
Exactly.
On a hot day with their tops off.
I know for a fact.
Really? Other people might like it.
Well, but
you wouldn't get many women that actually would choose to do that.
And it's funny because pretty much every woman I've had this conversation with has said exactly the same.
Yeah.
And I look at it from the point of view of, say, my stepdaughter, okay, was one of those people. And she came round here for a barbecue one time. Sorry to use you as an example, Hannah. Came here for a barbecue and demanded that she was allowed to do it. I would not feel comfortable with that.
No.
And that's not me violating her rights as a woman. That's just me saying, you're in my house. I'm not comfortable with that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, luckily, it seems to be a very small percentage of women that feel that strongly about it.
There's not many women.
No. Save feminism for where it's really, really needed. Not because you want to get your kit off when it's hot. Leave something to the imagination.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's embarrassing. Well, we've reached that time again. It's embarrassing moments. And I'm looking forward to hearing yours. I didn't do one last week. I just didn't really have one that I felt was right for the episode. But there's one I've got, which I'll tell after, that you've heard before. And I feel a little bit funny in telling it for different reasons. But you really want me to...
amusing.
To you.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can go first. So what is your embarrassing moment that you've decided to share on episode 5 of The Green Room?
Okay. Me and my now husband hadn't been together for very long. I don't know, maybe 4 months, something like that. And his parents had gone away. And so on late shift one night, I went to his house after finishing work at midnight. Next morning, he got up to go to work, left the house at 8:30 in the morning, probably running late as usual, and left me in bed. There's obviously no one there. I got out of bed at whatever time it was. I used to be able to have a lie-in back then.
Before children.
Before children,
Sure.
yes.
I can't. I can't imagine what it's like to have a lion.
Had a shower. Didn't lock the bathroom door because obviously there's no one at home. They've gone on holiday. So I'm there out of the shower, drying myself off.
All the male viewers now are like, yeah, carry on.
When the door opens, there's Kevin's nan there.
She opened the door, or you opened the door?
She opened the door.
And you're starkers?
And I'm starkers in the bathroom, drying myself off.
What was his nan doing there?
Well, she lived next door in the granny flat, had come into the kitchen downstairs for something or other, and I must have brushed the pipe or something, and the hot water was going, and she thought maybe Kevin had left the tap running or something.
No.
So had come upstairs.
You've not told me this one. This isn't the one I was expecting.
No, I know.
So when you open the door, she sees you in all your glory. What happened next? What were the next steps?
I don't really. It was obviously a long time ago. I think she just went, "Oh, sorry," and shut the door.
She shut the door.
Yeah.
So was she coming into the room?
It was quite a large bathroom, so I was kind of over the other side of the bathroom.
Did she open the door, or did you open the door to go out?
No, I was drying myself.
And she just walked straight in.
She just walked straight in.
Oh my God. How embarrassing.
It was embarrassing because then I had to get dressed and go downstairs and she was still there and then she explained why she...
I imagine she was probably just as embarrassed.
Well, probably.
Probably not as embarrassed, but
probably
almost.
Not as embarrassed. But...
No. Oh, and that's why this is called Embarrassing Moments. Oh, well, that's great. I wasn't expecting that one.
No, I know you weren't.
I think that I should give you another one, though, because I like your other one. Do you want to tell that one as well?
Not really.
No? Did you specifically decide not to tell that one?
I decided to tell the one that you hadn't heard.
Oh, okay, well, that's really good. Oh, okay. Well, I'll have to get you on again to tell the other one. Unless you want to tell it now.
Oh. So the other one then...
Rob Yo got two. You go for it.
Well, again, we hadn't been together very long.
Is this the holiday one?
We went on a group holiday with all his friends who I didn't know that well.
Yeah, that's even worse, isn't it?
Yeah. And I can't remember if I dived into the swimming pool or I pushed off the wall.
And what happened?
And lost my bikini bottom.
So you've told me this before. I know about this one. So how far down did they go? They didn't like they weren't floating in the pool or anything.
No,
they just like down to the knees or something.
No, yeah, just sort of down. You know, but to this day, I don't know if anyone noticed because
I can't imagine they would have said if they did.
I obviously pulled them up very quickly. And no one said anything.
In that situation, if it was someone I knew well I would make a comment about it.
Yeah, but I didn't know them that well, so
No.
maybe that's why they didn't.
They were being polite.
They would have been polite. Yeah.
Another nakedness one.
I know, yeah. In the space of probably, think that 2 months.
My male podcast audience has just skyrocketed. If I went on Facebook now, I'd see my followers just like just go. Well, I wouldn't, because obviously
saving grace was that I was a lot thinner back then. Than I am
we
now,
were always saying about this.
I was.
Oh dear. Well, that's brilliant. I love that. I love the first one because I hadn't heard that before.
No, I know.
I was fully prepared for the one I already knew, but it's entertaining however many times I hear it. So, well done for that. Thank you for that one. Okay, so this embarrassing moment of mine has taken me 5 episodes to decide to talk about, and it's not one that I was ever going to talk about. Due to the nature of it and due to the nature of my mother following my page. I just hope that she doesn't listen to this, that she doesn't watch this, and also that if she does, that it just stays unmentioned as it has done for 18 years. And it's not even a big deal, but So something to understand is, in my family, we weren't prudish, but we didn't really talk about sex, and we didn't really discuss things like that. I think I've told you before, every time I was watching a film with my mom, or like as a family, and my mum's like sat there and I'm sat here, and a sex scene came on a film that we weren't expecting, I would just freeze and swallow hard and be thinking, please pass, please pass, please pass. And I'm sure my mum felt just as awkward about it. So with that in mind, knowing that we weren't very open about all these kind of things, it makes this more awkward. So I just got together with Kaz, or within the first year, and ended up moving in with her in her flat. And my mum had decided to swap the rooms around. So what was hers and my dad's room, they were now moving into my room, and they were moving what was left of my stuff, because it was early days. My mum probably thought that there might be a chance that I moved all my stuff into what was their room, and in the process had a bit of a sort and a tidy up and all this kind of thing. Now, when I was a young boy, 13 to 16, I used to do a paper round, and there was a lay-by on the route with a couple of houses and a care home, and quite often I would find discarded porn mags. Okay, and being the young boy that I was, who was I to leave them there? So I would pick them up, put them in my paper bag, and take them home. And so I had about 3 at this point. Okay, and so there was never any danger of them being found in my room. I used to keep them in one of these, it's like an A4 cardboard thing that keeps A4 paper straight so it doesn't crease, and with a bit of elastic, and I had these like 3 porn mags in there, and they always stayed in my school bag. Well, fast forward years and years, I've never got rid of these porn mags. They're in a box in the attic, but for a while they were in a drawer. I didn't look at them. I mean, they're dated 1994 or something, that's how old they are. I've still got them. I don't know where they are, but I've never thrown them away. So they're in the attic somewhere. Anyway, so I go around to my parents' house, and my mum says, oh, come upstairs, I'll show you what I've done with your room and all this kind of thing. And I'd got a desk with like 3 or 4 drawers on the right-hand side. And my mum's kind of saying, oh, I've put all this here, and I've moved that there, and, I've sorted this out and all this kind of thing. Like I said, I think maybe she thought that if things didn't work out, I'd move back home, because it was early days.
Yeah.
And so this cardboard thing that the porn mags are in, it was blue with some writing and stuff like that, and easily identifiable to myself, because, it was in my school bag for like 4 years. So my mum proceeds to start showing me what she's done with the drawers of my desk, and she opens the first drawer. So I've put all this here, look, I've moved all that there, and I'm like, okay, thanks. She shuts the door, a drawer. She opens the second drawer and she's like, oh, I've put all this here and I've got that there, you know, and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, okay, thanks. Shuts the drawer. She opens the third drawer and on the top of everything is this blue cardboard thing that keeps paper straight that I know full well has got my porn mags in. Now, that wouldn't have been embarrassing at all, but it was the fact that she opened it after giving a long explanation of what was in the other drawer. She opened it and went, oh, that's that one, and she shuts the drawer. And as she opens the drawer, I'm just looking wide-eyed, thinking, oh my god. And the fact that she reacted the way she did, it was so obvious that she'd obviously looked in there. She knew what was in there. She knew what was in there. You know, she probably would have been better off just going, oh, there's your porn mags. It would have been less embarrassing. But I was horrified because, like I said, we never really talked about that kind of thing. And it was just... The elephant in the room was that we both knew that there were porn mags in there. And it's never been spoken about. Never been spoken about. And I hope it never gets spoken about. I hope my mum doesn't listen to this or watch the video. I'll go around and she's like, oh, yeah.
She'll mention it next time you go up and visit.
Yeah, I can't believe you still got those porn mags.
Yeah.
But that was my embarrassing moment. You had to be there, but it was that moment of where we both knew what was in that thing. So that's embarrassing moments. Thanks very much for yours, for your double whammy.
I know, both of them.
That's great. I'm sorry if I forced you on the second one, but
yeah.
I'm sure people enjoyed it. Would I be right in saying that you really enjoy going on holiday each year?
Yes, we love it. As a whole family, we love it.
Okay. And we had a bet this year, actually, didn't we? I think I owe you a bag of giant chocolate buttons.
More than likely.
Oh,
you do, yes.
Damn it. We had a bet that, because Emma had decided that they weren't going to go away this year because they wanted a sort of special holiday next year. And Emma's done this in the past. And then when it's come to it, the next thing, booked a holiday today. So when she said that she wasn't going to book this holiday, I said, okay, well, I bet you a bag of giant buttons, a big grab bag, no less, of chocolate buttons that you will book a holiday. And you haven't for this year. I
haven't, no.
Okay. But we had...
Camping doesn't count.
Yeah, I think we established it's got to be an abroad holiday.
On a plane.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's a good link, Emma, because that's where I was going with this. So you've got 2 children.
Yes.
Okay. And your youngest, okay, can, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't want to speak out of turn, sometimes be a handful.
Yes, tries my patience, shall we say.
As can most children, I'm sure.
Yes, he is, yeah.
And a couple of years ago, you went on holiday to, I think the Canaries.
Lanzarote.
Yeah. So we're talking a 4-hour flight.
Yeah.
And you were worried that your son would maybe not be very good on that 4-hour flight because he's keeping him entertained, etc.
He was 5
at the time. And I suggested, very matter-of-factly and innocently, that you drug him.
You did, yes.
Okay. Now, we're not talking Mr. T, a glass of milk with something in to knock him out. We're not talking a syringe in the neck or chloroform over the mouth. We're talking about a calm, an over-the-counter calm. Or we found out as well that both of us get really drowsy on Piriton.
Yeah.
Okay? Not a good advert for Piriton. Stop making us drowsy and we'll buy your product.
You can buy non-drowsy ones.
Do they work as well?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I'd take Zyrtec now anyway. You snooze, you lose. Which I was snoozing on Piriton. So I suggested break one in half and then give it to your son and it will make him drowsy and ease the journey. Okay. You were horrified by this.
I was, yeah. Very horrified. Because you shouldn't drug your children, basically.
Okay, right.
Even if it's an over-the-counter drug, you're still drugging them, giving them medication that's meant for an adult, not a child.
We differ on opinions for this, because I see this like, you know, when we were kids, I don't know about your parents, but I know my parents gave me, I don't know if it was a bit of whiskey or brandy or something, maybe in my milk to settle me down.
No,
okay?
mine didn't do that.
No?
No.
That's probably why I've got a drinks problem.
Yeah,
Thanks, Mum and Dad. But it was a common thing. Just like someone told me recently, they dipped their finger in whiskey or something and rubbed it on a baby's gums when they were teething.
I didn't do that for mine either.
Okay. You're obviously a very good mother. But we got into this big debate, and I will sort of put it out there that I am outnumbered on this topic.
Yes.
I don't think there's a problem with it. You know, we're not talking illegal drugs. We're talking about over-the-counter drugs. And for anyone that's listening, I haven't got my own kids. I've got 2 step-kids, but I haven't got my own kids.
Thankfully.
Yeah, the step-kids suffered enough. But if I had, I wouldn't see any problem with that. But it just entertains me that you're so horrified by the idea of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How would you explain it if something happened to them?
I'd say I gave them an over-the-counter calm medication.
That clearly says on the packet for adults only.
Yeah, that's a good point. I haven't really thought that far ahead because I don't think it would come to that.
It might do, you don't know.
Well, so they're going to sleep for 12 hours. That's like the worst case scenario, surely. We're not talking
You're
Madeline
on the plane
McCann.
for 4.
Well, yeah. Ideal. You get the whole transfer in silence and peace and quiet as well.
They go through customs with a drugged child. They wouldn't question
totally
your
limp.
Yeah.
Well, again, you know, if you're listening to this podcast and, you know, following on the Facebook page or watching the video, I must remember to look at the video camera more often. Let us know. Is it all right to drug children on flights? I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Or not just on flights, any journey. Let us know.
Movie of the Week.
It's Movie of the Week time again, and this episode's Movie of the Week isn't so much a film that I've liked for a long time and that I wanted to share with you. It's a film that I actually watched literally like last week or the week before, and it's just kind of stayed with me for the last couple of weeks. If you like your horror and you like your superhero movies, then you should check out this film. It's called Brightburn. Came out this year. The only actor in it that I really recognise is Elizabeth Banks, and she has been in Pitch Perfect, Role Models, Zack and Miri Make a Porno, The Hunger Games, and this film is kind of like a slightly different take on the whole Superman idea, where the kid comes to Earth in a little capsule, but it looks at it from a different angle, where what if the kid wasn't sent here to save Earth and be a force of good, that it was actually here for a more sinister reason and there was no one on Earth to stop it. It's actually really good. I don't want to tell you any more than that. I think you should just go and check it out. It's called Brightburn, and as always, I'll post a link to the trailer on my Facebook page. Go and give it a watch and let me know if you've seen it. Let me know if you go and watch it and you liked it or you didn't like it. And again, let me know if there's any films that you've seen this week that you think I should check out. So that's my movie of the week for episode 5, Brightburn. Go and watch it. It's names you wouldn't call your baby time. And you've got one, haven't you?
Yep, I do.
It's kind of gone its own way. Mm-hmm. As you're aware, we've had names like Adolf.
You've forgotten them then.
But yeah, Megatron. But last week with Jack Nash, we had Brian, which was actually, it kind of got it back on track. Not that there is a track, it's just kind of, that's where I saw it going.
Yeah.
And not forgetting Trevor, which was Dave Petty's one on episode 1 of The Green Room. But before we get into yours, we've got to cue the jingle. Cue the jingle. Names you wouldn't call your baby. Emma, your name that you wouldn't call a baby. Can you give us a little bit of an explanation before you say what it is?
Yeah. Can
you give us an explanation of how you came up with the name and why you think it would be a name that you wouldn't call your baby?
Everyone quite likes modern names at the moment, don't they? As well
They
as
do.
like the three old names, like
Edith,
Edith and
Harry.
Yeah, I've got a Jack. That's quite an old name.
It's come back and really
But,
popular.
Yeah, it's really popular at the moment. But some of the modern names, I'm not very keen on.
Okay.
Maybe okay for a baby, not okay, I don't think, for an adult.
Give us an example that isn't what you're thinking. Can you think of one like Teddy?
Yeah, that's
not
one.
yours, is it?
No,
That's not the
it's
one you
not.
got.
No, it's not.
It's cute.
And I know someone with a Teddy.
Okay.
And it is a cute name, but I know as an adult you can call them Ted,
Yeah.
But as an adult to be called Teddy perhaps isn't that cool. Maybe?
You've just given me an amazing idea. Next series is going to be slightly different. Well, it's going to be completely different. It's probably all going to be about movies because that's something I'm passionate about.
Yeah.
And it's less specific to the audience, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But maybe if I go back to this format or something similar, we could do names you wouldn't call an adult.
Yeah.
Names that work as babies and small children, but do not suit an adult.
Yeah.
It's crazy. You look at that. See?
There we go. Look.
Yeah, I know. Well, have to have you on more often. You're like filling me with ideas. Okay, that was actually kind of your idea, but I'm nicking it.
Yeah.
Okay. So your name that you wouldn't call a baby is based on that idea, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I always have to do the little role play thing. It's probably getting old, but I like doing it. It's cool. So I'm going to do it. I don't care. It's my podcast. So okay, it's a invisible baby.
Invisible
okay.
baby.
Yeah. Oh, that's it. You do.
Okay.
Emma, what a beautiful baby. Is it a male or this is out of?
Yeah, it's a girl.
Okay, I would never ask you that if you actually had a baby because it's kind of rude. Yeah, it's a girl.
It's a girl.
It's the first female name you wouldn't call a baby.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
It's a girl.
What a lovely, lovely baby. She's gorgeous.
Oh, thank you.
What name have you come up with?
Apple.
Well, but isn't that the name of
It's a famous.
Chris Martin? Chris
Yeah.
Martin and Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yes.
Apple. That's actually a really good example because we were talking about this on one of the previous ones about people calling their babies after fruit and after like Brooklyn and stuff.
Yeah.
Is that like Posh Spice and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Apple. Okay, so that's a really good one. That's just one that you personally think is
Not.
ridiculous.
I think it is ridiculous. And I can get that you might go, oh, it's quite cute for a baby. But
yeah.
Apple, like when you're an adult,
Yeah.
or the lewd comments you might get from that. Can I have a bite or?
I was thinking, core. That's the only one. Sorry, that's the only one that came to mind with that. No one gets the core joke, but
That's not what I would thought.
I thought that's what you were getting at. Oh, okay, can I have a
No.
bite? Sure. Okay, that's where you're going with that one. That's actually really good because I've never really thought about it. The only time I've ever really thought of Apple being a baby name was with Chris Martin from Coldplay and Gwyneth Paltrow. I think I'm right in saying that.
I think, it is definitely a...
It's kind of, yes, it is a little bit cute, but I've never really thought about that. So when it gets older, the only way that Apple could really work is if she becomes like a hippie.
Yeah.
Like Star.
I think so. Yeah, definitely. Imagine being at the doctor's. Can Apple Irwin come at your appointment?
What if your surname's Tree? You wouldn't do it, would you?
Yeah, but some people do stupid things like that, don't they?
I know someone whose surname is Pie. Imagine if your surname was Pie. Apple pie, yes please. You got to wonder, have you? People,
You have, yeah.
People call their kids Richard Head.
Yeah.
That, and
Yeah.
I always wonder if they're really aware of that or whether they're
No,
completely
maybe not.
oblivious that that's a thing. Apple, I like that. Right, let's get it on the dry whiteboard. Love it. Apple. That's actually really good because before long you're going to have people calling their kid Jaffa Cake, and and I don't know, what croissant.
Just stupid things, really.
Yeah, I know, but it's it's sort of, I don't know, it's a bottomless pit of
Well,
silly names,
There's
isn't
Peaches
it?
Geldof, but it's quite
Peaches.
popular.
I kind of
But
like Peaches.
Yeah, but it's still a bit silly.
It is, but it kind
But
of...
it kind of works.
Peaches.
But maybe that's because of who she is and her family rather than...
Maybe. Peaches. Yeah, out of the two, I'd definitely go with Peaches as opposed to Apple.
Yeah.
Plum.
Pear.
Banana.
What a pair you have.
Look at you! See, you've been working with me too long.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, so we're going to go for Emma. Irwin. You get a line under your name because you're the first lady on the green room. And we're going to go for Apple. Brilliant. Apple Irwin. Or apple pie. So where we work,
Yes.
we have a radio which is a DAB radio, but it gets about 3 stations.
rubbish.
It gets like Radio 1, Greatest Hits Radio, and the other one probably isn't worth listening to.
No.
But it kind of makes the day go a little bit quicker.
It does.
And we played a game one time, me and you, about songs and what they remind us of. Songs have got this really cool way, a bit like smells, that as soon as you hear it, you're like, oh my God, this reminds me of when I was...
transports you somewhere.
Yeah, and the same with a smell. I've got Dupe Jump aftershave, whatever. I hardly ever wear it, but when I do, first thing Kaz says is, oh, you got Vegas on, because I wore it when we went to Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really strange how it's got that effect, but it's really good at the same time. And unfortunately, I'm extremely impressionable. It's not intentional. I don't know why it happens, but if someone says something while I'm watching a film that I particularly like, or while I'm listening to a song, for whatever reason, it is branded on my brain. And the next time I watch that film or listen to that song, all I can think about is what that person said. Okay. And Emma has ruined so many songs for me that I really like by saying, we're there at work, I'm really enjoying the song, and suddenly I'll hear, what is this we're listening to? Or can't we skip this one? Or something to that effect. Not realising that I really like the song, and that next time I hear that song, all I'm going to hear is Emma moaning about it, asking if we can skip it. It's a weird thing.
But I didn't realise at the time...
You've got better.
That is what happened. Now I know I don't say anything.
You don't say anything, but you've got this demeanour. And I can always tell, even if you don't say anything, I can still tell. And I call it an anti-Emma song. So if there's a song on and I'm thinking, and I like it, but it's quite maybe heavy or something, I'm thinking Emma's going to either turn the radio off or she's going to comment. And there was one recently, it was so funny.
Yeah.
I think it's like the 1975's new song, and I'm not a fan of them at all.
It was on Radio 1, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it was like a load of screaming and loads of noise. And I said to one of the guys that we work with, I just gestured over to Emma, who had her back to us at the time, and I said to him, I was just about to say, wait for it, and before I even had the chance to say it, you just went, I'm sorry, but I've got to turn that off. What a load of rubbish. And it was just perfect timing because I just knew that
I was working right next to it and it was just blaring in my ear.
You gave it about a minute and a half before you got that far. But, so, you've got better at that. But that's not my point. That's just like a lead up into what I'm talking about. But there are certain songs that remind me of certain things. Good things and bad things, usually good actually. Are there any songs, and I know there are, and I can throw one at you if you struggle to think of any, that remind you of a specific time in your life or a moment in your life?
There's songs that remind, like Reef.
That's the one I was thinking of.
Because I think that was on the radio last night.
It was, yeah. Place Your Hands.
Place Your Hands. And I went, oh, this is just Morisco all over when I was like 17, 18. 18, obviously, going and risk going, not 17.
Of course, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, drink responsibly,
Yes,
irresponsibly.
exactly. Yeah, wouldn't be in there underage.
So I mean, I'm with you on that, because when I moved to Devon, I used to go there on a Friday night with a friend of mine, and it was rock night, and all those songs, Reef, Place Your Hands, Third Eye Blind, Supergrass, Blur Song 2, all those really good songs were on. And I don't want to go over it again, but we talked about this on Rob Yo's episode, just about how no one's writing songs like that anymore. But anyway,
No, yeah.
But if you want to hear that, shoot over to Podbean or Acast or Castbox or iTunes or wherever you're listening to the podcast, and listen to 80s Cheese and the Zombie Apocalypse, episode 3. But this is your episode, Emma. I apologise. Did this last week with Jack Nash. Sorry about that. So mine would probably be a song like, I've told you this story, Don't Look Back in Anger by Oasis.
Yeah.
And just humour me, because you've heard this story before.
Heard it, yeah.
But
probably a few times.
Yeah, I know. I drone on. So while I'm telling this story, just pretend that you're interested and think of one that maybe reminds you of a specific time.
Specific.
If you can. It could be your wedding dance, for instance. It could be anything like that. But this story was, like you, I was drinking at 17 or 18, probably 18.
Probably 18,
Probably.
yes.
Drink responsibly. And we used to go to a club in my hometown of Evesham in the Midlands, and on a Friday night. And we went, and there was a girl that I liked, and we'd had this, I don't want to say an on-off relationship, because it had never even been on, it had just been hinted at. And nothing had happened. I went to prom with her, which we called the ball, Leavers Ball back then. Prom seems to have seeped in from America.
It has, yeah.
And this one night I was there with a friend of mine, and I said, I'm making a move on this girl tonight. I was adamant that this was the night. And all our friends were there. It was a really good atmosphere. There was either karaoke on, or there was just music playing on the jukebox, and it was really loud. And had this big conversation with him. Right, that's it. I'm going in there. Movie scene kind of scenario. I'm going in and I'm making my move. And I walked in, and Don't Look Back in Anger was playing. Everyone was singing along with it, because it's that anthemic song that it is. And I'm walking around, scouting the place, trying to find her. And I walk round the corner, and she's getting off with another guy in the corner of the room. And
missed your chance.
I did, and I had lots of chances as well. And as my dad always said, I was always too slow to catch cold, he said. But that's not actually a bad memory, I look back on that now, and I just think it's fine. Things happen, and they're meant to be. But as it happens, that song now kind of reminds me of when I played at the Birdman recently, and everyone was singing along with it on stage, and it's kind of,
that's nice.
It hasn't drowned out the memory, but it's now created this new nice memory of that one of me not getting rejected. So can you think of any song that reminds you of a specific
Jump.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, okay.
Jump around.
You've told me about the song, but
we had that it was just one of the songs at our wedding, and literally the whole marquee was just full of people dancing, jumping around.
It's funny. I wonder what it is about that song.
I don't know. It was just really good, and it's just such a fantastic memory. And I still love the song now. And now me and the kids jump around in the kitchen.
That's funny, isn't it?
So yeah.
Who's that by? I know the song, but I couldn't tell you who it's by.
No.
Oh, of course you don't.
Me these stupid questions.
It's only one of your favourite songs with the best memory ever, but you don't know who did it. Okay, well, if you know who did that song, and let us know in the comments. And
Kevin will probably be able to tell us, because he's a nerd like you, like that.
Well, maybe Kevin should follow the Green Room on Facebook and start listening to the podcast, and then he can get involved in these discussions. That'd be great.
Okay.
Let us know in the comments if there are any songs that you particularly like, or not particularly like, but songs that remind you of a specific memory. And if it's not too embarrassing, let us know what the memory is. Be pleased to read those comments if they ever arrive. I doubt it, but I'm giving everyone the chance.
That's very negative. I'm sure someone will comment.
Self-doubt, Emma. Self-doubt. So, as you're probably aware by now we're episode 5. You're aware of this as well, aren't you? Because you listen to each of the podcasts.
Yes.
Good answer. That towards the end of the show, we do a little segment called Annoyances. Last episode, Jack Nash he was very kind actually. He didn't feel like he had something that he really needed to get off his chest. So he let me do a couple, which turned into 3 or 4, I think, in the same thing. But you've actually got one, haven't you?
Yeah.
And we're all annoyed by various things, some of us more than others, on a daily or weekly basis. What is your annoyance? What annoys you?
It's nothing major, really, but it annoys me when people can't be bothered to smile or say hello to you.
Oh, God. We were only talking about this yesterday, me and Sam.
And it's not even... It is people that you know that sometimes will speak to you, sometimes won't speak to you. Mm-hmm. I'm quite a friendly person, so I kind of just say good morning to people on the school run, people that I don't know, smile at people at work, just because I think it's nice, really. And when you just get kind of stone faces back at you, it kind of annoys me. There's nothing worse. People, it's only just polite, really, to say hello or good morning or...
Courtesy.
Yeah.
That was one of my moans last week. And weirdly, me and Sam, someone we work with, hiya Sam, Samford, you get a mention this week, were literally talking about this last night. Okay. And talking about specific people that we've given up on saying hello to because we got fed up of saying it, say in the corridor, and just being mugged off and just been left feeling stupid for making the effort and not getting anything back. I don't understand it.
No, I don't either. Whether those people don't realise that they're doing it. Some people I genuinely don't think they even realise they're doing it.
I think where we work, when I'm walking from one end of the building to the other end of the building for whatever reason, I'll come in contact with a load of people, as would you if you were doing it. And there are, through the different departments that I walk through, there are specific people that I always say hello to and say hello to me, and other people that I'm just used to the fact that we don't even acknowledge each other. And it's strange why they don't do it. And I've just learnt from the time being there that, that person never speaks or that person is not very friendly. Yeah. But I'm like you, I'm fairly friendly and I like, I think it's more awkward to walk past someone, say in the corridor where we work, that you know, or you acknowledge we're in the same building with, I think it's more awkward to walk past them and not speak than it is to either smile or say hello.
And the corridors aren't even that wide, so you can't ignore some people do, just ignore them like they're not even there. And I just think just a smile, really, like you just said, just to acknowledge that you're working in the same place together. You don't have to necessarily know someone to say hello or smile.
Or have a big conversation about something.
You don't have to stop and speak. I'm not saying that at all. Just to say hello. Yeah. Or smile, really, just because it's nice. And is that not a nicer world to live in than,
I totally agree. And I think it is more awkward because, say there's someone coming up the corridor and it's one of those people that doesn't ever speak. You're then, right, what do I do? Do I look at them? Do I look away? Do I look at the floor? And that's what I mean. It's actually more awkward. It
is,
And I don't really get it. I think manners cost nothing. And like you say, why wouldn't you want to be in a world where people are just friendly and courteous to each other? That's a really good one. That baffles me that people do that.
And me.
There have been people, I use work as an example because we spend a lot of time there. There have been people at work that I've just given up on because they've stopped saying hello. Yeah. Oh, sorry, they haven't stopped saying hello. I always say hello and they just look blank faced and they don't say anything. And then it's almost like as soon as I decide to stop saying hello, I walk past them without saying anything and they're like, oh yeah. And then you're like, make your mind up, And I'm thinking one person in particular who doesn't work there anymore. But it's infuriating. It's almost like, oh, okay, so it's all right for you not to speak to me. But as soon as I decide not to speak to you... It's a strange one.
It is, yeah. You get it a lot on the school run and things as well.
So you're not talking just work?
No, in life in general, to be honest with you.
Yeah. No, I get that. Just
it kind of irritates me a bit.
Well, that's good. That's actually a really good one. I say that to all of them, but that is a good one, and it's just really weird that me and Sam were talking about that last night.
Yeah. And there's probably other people that think, why would I want to say hello to you in the morning, or why would I want to smile? I don't know you. But I just kind of think, does it really matter if you don't know someone?
I say hello to people I don't know.
Well, I do. I'll pass people in the high street, or on the way to school run or on the way home, and people that I don't know that will say good morning, and I just think it's quite nice, really.
Yeah.
I'd rather live in a world that's a bit friendlier and than not really.
Imagine if that caught on, and everyone decided to stop saying hello.
Yeah, exactly.
What a miserable world that would be.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I wasn't going to do one, but I think I will. We've got a little bit of time left. And I'm just looking at my list here because I wrote, I believe it or not, we do go by a format list here on the. I have
big list of annoyances.
Well, it's a big list of things I wanted to talk to you about, which we've got through most of them actually. So what shall I go for, Emma? What shall I go for? Okay, I'm going to squeeze a few annoyances into one thing. Okay, social media and everything to do with it is my annoyance this week. Okay, don't get me wrong. I like social media. It's good for keeping in touch with people and family that might live away or friends that moved away and all that kind of thing. I like social media if it was used the way I agree. Use it, except for the drunken Facebook status updates night. Or Friday. Yeah, anytime over the weekend that could happen. But okay, so my annoyances are social media in general. Drama, okay? It's not hard to be normal, is it?
It's not.
You love it when I say that. I had to squeeze that one in. This is something I say, and Emma, I've stopped saying it so much now because...
No, but then I say it back at you.
Yeah, it's become your thing now. I totally understand that not everyone's situation is as good as, say, someone else's. Yeah. Okay, some people have a lot of bad luck. Some people aren't in a great situation.
No.
But do you need to plaster your drama all over Facebook and tell everyone, or have a slanging match with a person,
I agree.
Have some balls and confront that person personally. Don't put it on Facebook for it to be ambiguous and what's going,
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, what's up, hun? Oh, PM'd you, hun? And all this kind of thing. There's a lot of that, and there's a lot of fakeness. These
sort of posts are never to the point either.
No, they're cryptic.
Always cryptic, and are they talking about you, or are they talking about someone else? Or
attention seeking.
Just say it as it is, or don't say it at all.
Exactly. I couldn't have said it any better than that. But that's exactly how I feel, and it enrages me because there's a place to do that kind of thing, and I don't think that it's social media.
No, I don't think it is. It's much better to talk these things through.
It is.
A bit like text messages, you never get
the tone.
No, because they could be taken the wrong way when actually it's not meant like that at all, isn't it? And that's the whole one of the main issues, I think, with social media.
I think so. Because it's written word at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. And I think probably paranoia's got huge because of things like that.
What did he mean by that? What did he mean by that?
Yeah.
All that kind of thing. Well, just phone them and find out or ask them to their face. Cryptic, attention-seeking status updates are one. I'm not going to go massively into detail. I don't think I need to. If you're annoyed by these things as well, then you'll know exactly what I'm saying. Marketplace. When you're looking to buy something in a marketplace, you message someone. Is this still available? They see your message. They don't even reply. Or you put something up for sale. Have you got this? Yes. I'll be around at 3:00. Brilliant. See you at 3:00. 3:30 comes. Not around. 4:00.
They could just be late like you.
Well, in the last... Thanks for throwing that in. On the last time this happened, I was selling an iPhone and someone completely wasted my time. I sold it in the end, but he saw all my messages. I said, look, if you don't want it, someone else is interested in it, and just didn't even reply. It's
rude, isn't it?
It is, and it's seeing that they've seen your message.
You get annoyed about that.
Really annoyed.
Bang on about it.
Of course I do bang on about it because it's rude. Courtesy again. This is what I moaned about last week. So people that haven't got the courtesy to just go, oh, sorry to waste your time, but I found another one, or sorry, I can't make it, or give it to someone else. And it's, I don't know, maybe they're trolls, maybe they're just people that do it for a specific reason. We're still going, so let me squeeze some more in. We've got people who see your messages and don't reply. Clickbait. Silly clickbait. Things like, you'll never believe what this celebrity, blah, blah, blah. And then you're like, oh, you click it, and it's a really underwhelming story.
Well, who clicks them? You obviously
don't know. A friend told me that they clicked on it once.
Who clicks on rubbish like that? I don't click on rubbish like that.
I'm intrigued by things, and I don't do it so much anymore. I don't do it so much anymore because I know where it's going, and it's always really underwhelming. But clickbait. What else have we got? Adverts. Okay, if I'm looking on Amazon at something, and then I go on Facebook, I don't want to see the thing that I've been looking at on Amazon advertised to me on another website.
I've had that loads recently, looking for a website.
Oh,
design.
really?
Yeah, loads of that. Websites. What else was I looking at? Insurance or something. Broadband packages.
Oh, okay. They know what you've been looking at, and
yeah, it's crazy.
I guess we are giving them permission by when we agree to their terms and conditions. But I still don't like it. I don't like, I'm not looking at anything dodgy. But say I was looking at something dodgy, I don't want that to be advertised on my Facebook page when someone's looking over my shoulder,
No.
Because it's all based on things you've looked at. For me, it's usually things that I've got in my wish list on Amazon that I've looked at. And shall I buy that? Oh, no, I'll leave it till payday. I go on Facebook and there it is, tempting me, trying to get me to buy it. I don't like that.
No.
So adverts and something slightly different, but I've got to mention it since it's everyone now, social media, there's videos, there's photos, all that kind of thing. Vertical video. This deserves its own moan, but we haven't got time, so I'm just going to mention it now. Vertical video. What are you doing, people? What are you doing? Like, you're looking at this video, you're watching this video, okay, and it's in landscape mode, yeah? I don't mean to be patronising, but landscape is widthways, okay? When you're looking at a landscape, wide from left to right, okay? 16.9.
But
yeah,
some mobile phone holders only clip on that way, so you can only video.
What do you mean mobile phone holders? Do you not hold it with your hand?
Yeah, but if you were videoing something, like I do with my work then, if I'm videoing myself making the boards...
Oh, okay, I got you.
So I can use both hands and not have to try and do everything. It only holds it in one way, so you can only video in vertical.
Do you know what I would suggest? I suggest you go onto Amazon and you find one that films it in both ways. They are available.
I'm sure they are.
I've got one.
If you've just spent money on one, you're not going to go buy another one just because you think it should be videoed the other way around.
I'd balance it on something. I would refuse to do it. I do understand, don't get me wrong. Phones, you hold your phone the way you hold your phone, and it's a vertical screen, isn't it?
It is,
yeah. So I get that, but it's just so annoying because if you see a video on YouTube that's filmed in vertical mode, it's going to have black lines on the side.
Doesn't have that on videos on Instagram or Facebook though.
That's because they're square. I haven't got as much of a problem with that because that sorts that problem out.
Right.
But there's a really funny video that I saw on YouTube, and I'm going to put a link to it on the Facebook page, and it's called Vertical Video Syndrome, and it's a little comedic video about it, about how, there's this kind of epidemic of it going around, and before long, everything's going to be in vertical format. You'll go to a cinema, and the cinema will be really tall because the screen will have to be really high. That Star Wars will get released yet again, but on a vertical format. It enrages me. I think I'm just becoming old and easily irritated. But those things just annoy me. It's like, just film it properly. You watch a film, you watch it in widescreen, you watch it in horizontal. Please, guys, if you get anything from this podcast, please stop filming like this. For people that are not watching the videos, watch the video. Which will be actually in, portrait mode. Film like that, not like that. That's my message to you. So that's it. That's my rant. Rant over for now.
Okay.
But I think I might have hijacked yours a little bit. And well, you're used to it by now. You've worked with me for 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, but sorry about that. Well, that brings us to the wrap-up. But before we get to the wrap-up, the full wrap-up, I've just got to say that I started this thing called Green Room Heroes, as you know.
Oh, yeah.
Last episode, okay? And the first Green Room hero was a lady such as yourself. Is that right? Such as yourself? Like yourself? And it was Sophie Hickles. So she's held that mantle for 3 weeks. But she can't hold it forever. It's got to be passed on to someone else. Mm-hmm. So my Green Room hero for episode 5, staying in the theme of female girl power, okay, not intentionally, is, I've got to do it, is my very own fiance, Karen Vidler, soon to be, or in less than a year, soon to be Karen White. No, she used to be Karen White. She used to be Karen White. She's been married before. Karen Green, it'll be. How weird is that?
Yeah.
And she has earned this title. It's not.
Yes, you have said that. Yeah.
This isn't just because, she's my fiance and we're getting married, etc. Kaz shares every post that I put up. She's the first one to like all my posts. She hears me banging on about the Green Room all the time. So do you. I think you might be in the running for this at some point as well. And she just puts up with a lot, and she really supports me with it. And I
see her sharing it.
Yeah,
she
bless her.
A lot, I know.
Yeah, she's the only one, but which makes her Green Room hero number 2, but for episode 5 because I didn't start it right from the beginning of the series. So congratulations, Kaz, you deserve it, and you'll be getting your name up on the Facebook page in a little superhero design, whatever it's called. That's all I can give you at the moment. That's all I'm saying on that. So
yeah, moving swiftly.
Well done, Kaz. A little bit of round of applause for Kaz. Well done, well done. So that's the wrap up. We've got to go to work, unfortunately.
We have, yes.
In probably like 20 minutes, if not sooner.
Can't be late.
We can't be late. Well, you can't. I make a habit of it.
Yeah, it's normal for you.
I'm not really late though, am I? I get there bang on the dot.
Yeah.
Okay. But thanks for coming on.
Thank you very much for having me.
That's right. And, thanks for overcoming your doubts, self-doubt.
Self-doubt.
Was it self-doubt, or were you just doubting that I could make it good?
No. No, because I have watched and listened to your other ones and they've all been really good.
All of them?
I've yet to catch up with...
You don't have to explain yourself.
Well, I feel I have to now.
Well, okay, go for it.
I've watched the videos. I haven't listened to the podcast with Jack yet.
Oh, Jack's is a good one.
But I've watched all the videos.
That's good. Well, yeah, thanks for coming on and getting over your fears. You're welcome. Thanks for giving me your time. And I'll just plug your Flip Flop Designs again. Check her out on Facebook. Well, you do it. Where can people find you?
Facebook, Flip Flop Designs 1, and Instagram, Flip Flops Designs. They're slightly different names because of, names just go and stuff, don't they?
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
And I am having a website designed very soon, which is quite exciting.
Ideal.
In the run up to Christmas, and I will be at Arlington Christmas Market and Braunton Christmas Market.
In Devon, North Devon,
North Devon, yes.
For all you hundreds of listeners that are listening in various parts of the world.
Yeah.
Come to England, come to North Devon and come and buy something from Emma's stand, her resin work. And right, let's just hold them up one more time for if this video goes up. So we are, for the podcast listeners, you're missing a treat. You are missing 2 of the finest pieces of resin art I have ever seen. I can just see my crackers on them. That's not a euphemism. So check out the website. We'll put a link on. We'll put links to when you get your website done. I'll put it on there. and I'll put links to your other things on the Facebook page and some pictures.
Thank you.
And all that kind of thing. So once again, thanks very much for coming on.
You're welcome.
And we'll see you on the 6th episode. Not you, Emma, sorry.
No, not me.
Can't have you on again, you know, that's just greedy. We'll see you on the next episode of The Green Room. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Cheers. It's Song of the Week time again on episode 5 of The Green Room. It's been a long episode this week, so if you've made it this far, thanks very much, and I hope you've enjoyed the episode. This week's Song of the Week is quite a recent song, and it's a song by a guy called Sam Fender, and the song is called Hypersonic Missiles, and it's from his debut album called Hypersonic Missiles. First heard of this guy on Radio 1, not a big fan of Radio 1, but it's on at work quite a lot. And it was his other song, Will We Talk, which I really liked. It had that kind of Killers / The Strokes vibe. Got my attention. Not a lot of music on the radio gets my attention these days, but this one did. And I got the album off the back of it, and the album's actually really good. So I think you should check out the whole thing. As always, I'll put a link to the song on my Facebook page. Go and check it out. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you like it, if you don't like it. And as always, let me know if there's anything you think I should check out or any song that's been stuck in your head this week. Other than that, I'll see you next week on The Green Room. Cheers.